I played a couple of notes, and it's worse out of tune than it was before. So it's like, man, they sounded notes is like, so I just stay up here. Yeah, yeah. Are you ready, dear? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Welcome this morning. Let's all stand and let's sing, I'm choosing heaven today. Here we go. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing heaven. Let's sing it again. Oh, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing. How about love? Oh, I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love all day. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing love. How about peace? I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, saying I'm choosing heaven today. Oh, all day. Oh yeah.
Andy Anderson. Woo. Thank you, and good morning, everybody. We're choosing heaven, but boy, how many had a hard time finding a parking space this morning? Congratulations, because you all did. I got here early. I guess there is an event, a sporting event going on at the middle school across the street. Not usually this hard, in case you're new. So I'd like to welcome you. I'm Kimberly Hawkins. I am the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in partnership with Unity of Medford. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive faith community. We teach tools to transform personal lives and help make a world that works for all. And we welcome each and every one of you, no matter where you may happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey. If you're here for the first time, I know there's a couple at least. Would you raise your hand? We'll give you a little love. Oh, there's several of you. Welcome. Welcome. If you did not receive a welcome packet when you walked in, please raise your hand again, and Virginia will make sure you get. I guess the ushers were on their duty this morning. That's awesome. There's a new brochure we just finished in there too. So let's see, we have a few people we need to introduce. Reverend Bonnie Anderson is on the pulpit with me this morning. Her husband, Reverend Andy Anderson, is our musician. Yeah. And unfortunately, the other Andersons were supposed to be here, Ben and his two sons with their trumpet and saxophone.
Alto sax, yeah.
They had car trouble, so they will be with us again because that was awesome, Andy. But Andy's awesome by himself as well. And another person we need to introduce is Treasure Wild, who is one of our newer practitioners transferring from another center. She did a beautiful meditation this morning and is holding high watch, which means she's praying throughout the service for everyone's highest and best good. On sound, we have Tom Frederick as always. We have Louis and Corey and Vivian. Let's see, anybody else on our video team this morning? A big welcome to anybody watching us online or the recording afterwards. So I think that's about it for starters. Let's take a collective deep breath now and settle in as Andy prepares us for our invocation and reading. And hold your applause, if you would, after this particular song, because we'll go right into prayer.
God is all there is. It's love, peace, and love is all there is. It's all that I need. I wander through this land of love, wondering who I am. Then I remember when my mind is clear, God is. I open my eyes to see. I'm whole, I'm perfect, complete. There's nothing I need to find. All I need is right where I am. So I let God's love surround me. I am wrapped in the arms of the one, and I see nature's beauty all around me. I feel, I know I am. I know I'm one with the power. I'm one with the glory. It lives inside of me. I don't have to worry, oh, never fear, my mind is clear. Oh, I know my faith is strong, I'm right where I belong. I know just who I am, and so I celebrate, and know God is all there is. God is all there is. I know God is all there is. God is all there is. I know that God is. I am. I know that God is. I am. God is all there is. God is all there is.
So as we come together this morning in consciousness, we know these words are true. God is all there is. The force that keeps the planets in rotation, that births the infinite goodness every moment. And we are one with this power. We are one with the light of God, and we feel it now. And this morning we know in our hearts that we are in the right place at the right time in this constellation of people that will never be again. We are all here by divine appointment, open and receptive to hearing the words of Reverend Kimberly that remind us of the truth. We are open and receptive to the music that opens our hearts. Grateful that we are here together in community, sharing the beautiful love and light that is here in this sanctuary. So grateful for this moment in time. So grateful that we all said yes to the call to come this morning. And as we walked through the door, we felt the love that is here. You can feel it now, the love that surrounds us, enfolds us. The love of God, the love of Spirit. So I thank every one of you. I thank God. I thank Reverend Kimberly for being here to speak this morning. And I thank all of the people that make this service come together in perfection. I am so very grateful from my heart. And I release it now into the law. I have spoken my word and it is done. And so it is. Thank you, Reverend Andy. That was beautiful. So I'm Reverend Bonnie Anderson, as Kimberly already said, and I'm here to share a reading with you this morning. And knowing the topic that Reverend Kimberly was speaking on, I had like 3 different readings that I couldn't choose between. And, one was Eckhart Tolle, and I had one by Wayne Dyer, that I had all these things, and I couldn't decide. And then Spirit just said, it kept saying to me, use me. And that's a song, and you're all going to be singing it at the end of the service. But it kept saying, use me. So I decided to read you the lyrics of this beautiful song written by Ricky Byers that is so powerful. And as you read these words, then when you sing them later, you'll know them a little better. So I'm sure a lot of you already know this song. Use me. O God, I stand for you, and there I abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun. God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. Use me, O God. I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. Use me, O God. I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. Show me all that I must do. Thank you.
I want to sing for you a very special song, my request. Song by, it was written and composed by a very good friend of mine, Reverend Michael Gott. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand, my heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I stand, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand, my heart is here to serve. Oh, wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. So here I am, oh, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Oh, here I stand. Oh, my heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Whatever Spirit needs image of me. I will be, I will be, I will be, I will be.
Man, do you feel that one? Woo! And I want to thank Andy for, I don't often request songs because the musicians are so good at picking songs that I may not even know that go with the message. But I did request that, one of my all-time favorites, and Ricky Byers' Use Me, which we'll sing later. Thank you, Andy. Wow. Yeah, I feel it. You know, typically years ago, several years ago, in January, many of you may remember that it was a tradition in most Science of Mind religious science churches, centers, to do a series called Back to the Basics. The basics of New Thought, the same basic principles that we share with Unity and other New Thought traditions. And we would review the first 3 chapters of Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, his textbook. The first chapter is called The Thing Itself, meaning God, Spirit, right, the Creator. And then it goes on to say the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. And these are beautiful principles. And I think most of you not only know but practice them, the creative process, the law of attraction, the fact that we can pray an affirmative prayer and change our thinking and absolutely change what we experience in our life. We were imbued, just as our Creator spoke and thought the manifest universe into creation. We too are powerful creators. We can speak our word and have the law, that aspect of the divine that responds, that says, yes, we can change things. However, you know, I think there's something deeper than manifesting parking places and princes or princesses. Holmes used to start his radio address each week with this sentence: there's a power for good in the universe and you can use it. Yes, and that's an awesome thing, right? But I'll tell you, the first time I ever heard something different, I was thrilled. It was probably about 12 years ago. And I was at Namaste Center for Spiritual Living one Sunday, my sister's church that she founded. And Kathy Hearn, Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn, who was the spiritual leader of Science of Mind centers at that time, got up and started her talk with this: there's a power in the universe for good, and it can use you. And I got tingly. I got goosebumps because, yes, it's wonderful to manifest what we like, right? But if truly God's Spirit is omniscient, all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipotent, and ever-present, why would we, in our limited human brains, want to decide what we should create and do? We do not believe that the will of the divine is any different than our will. The will of God is for the highest and best good for each of its creations. So it's not like there's some God up there that's going to use us in a way we don't want to be used. There's a God everywhere, not just up there, and he's not a white man with a beard, you know, that really delights in us and wants to move through us to create beauty and connection and love and so much more in ways that we can't even imagine with our limited human brains. So, you know, I feel like a little bit of a renegade doing this. I'm going rogue again, but I know y'all are supporting me in that. I'm a little bit of a renegade, but not really. Because, you know, Ernest always said that we should remain open at the top. He never wanted there to be dogma, as there are in some traditions, that doesn't change. He always wanted us to be open to new learning from science in particular, and psychology and other branches of science, because we don't know everything and we're always learning. He said this: the science of mind is not a finished product. We are not interested in dogma, but in truth, which is ever unfolding, and it will expand as we expand. What about you? I'd like to expand. Would you? Yeah. He also, let's see, I guess that's it. Yeah. So I wanted to speak today. I chose as the topic this month, instead of back to the basics, beyond the basics. Are you ready to go beyond the basics with me? Yeah. Melanie's always ready. All right. So I entitled the talk this morning, Non-Doership, the Path to Peace. Now, non-doership is a concept in spiritual circles, not one that is, I've never heard spoken about in a Science of Mind center. I'm probably not the first, but you don't usually hear it. So what the heck do I mean by non-doership? Let's start with the words of Jesus. In John 14:10, he said, "The words that I speak, I do not speak of myself, but my Father who abides within me does the work." He also said earlier in John 5:30, "I can of myself do nothing. I seek not mine own will, but the will of the one who sent me." Now again, that's not different from our will. But we don't always grok, if you will, the bigness, the largeness of what we're called to do and be and experience. And so, non-doership basically means understanding that just like Jesus knew, it isn't me in my limited human perspective. I'm being lived. I'm being breathed. This is the truth for each of us of something much greater, much grander, much smarter, much more loving, and all of that. So there's something called the kingdoms of consciousness. Many of you have heard this in our classes. Sometimes when we first come to a New Thought Center, a Unity Church, or a Science of Mind Center, it's because something isn't going right in our life. This isn't true about everyone, but it's true for many of us. Maybe we've had a divorce, or a loss, or a health issue, or we are having financial troubles. Things aren't going the way we would like them. And we come to a center seeking spiritual guidance, seeking spiritual upliftment. So when we first come in, many of us are in the first kingdom of consciousness, which is the feeling that life happens to me. It's a victim consciousness. It's kind of like, woe is me, gosh, things aren't going the way I would like them to, and I don't know what to do. I have no control over it. And then we learn these principles. There's a power in the universe, and I can use it. And we start to create a life that looks more like what we want. Our finances improve, our health may improve, our relationships improve, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not all there is. So the next kingdom of consciousness is when we move into this idea that life is, well, what we do is we give up the victim role. First of all, let's go through. So first it was life is done to me. When we give up the victim role and we begin to have some sovereignty in our life by using these principles, we enter the second kingdom, which is life is done by me. And sometimes it feels like that, right? Because we have some control through our positive prayer and our thoughts of creating what we want. So life is done to me, life is done by me, but then there's more. And that's where the vessel idea comes in. That's where we understand that we can let life happen through us. And that is an even more powerful place to be. You know, the ego, A Course in Miracles says the ego is not an entity. It's a belief in separation. So the ego, because it believes in separation, and you know, the ego is there to protect us. It has good intentions, I guess you would say, but it's not helpful in our spiritual evolution. It's scared. It thinks it's separate. It thinks it has to control things and fight and compete, right? There are three basic beliefs in the ego, which are really not leading us on the path to peace. By the way, I've entitled, maybe I told you already, I've entitled this message, Non-Doership, A Path to Peace. So the three beliefs in the ego, one is lack. There isn't enough, and I've got to fight and scrap for what I want, and I better worry and plan and try to control things, or I'm going to be in a heap of trouble. Lack. It gets attached, therefore, to things. It thinks it knows what's best for us, and it believes that my happiness, my peace of mind is dependent on outcomes. If I can have the right relationship, if I can have X amount of income, if I can have good health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then I'll be happy, then I'll be at peace. And guess what? We've talked about this before. Outcomes do not bring happiness or peace of mind. They just don't. Happiness, peace of mind is an inside job, and it isn't dependent on outcomes. So the third belief of the ego is that I'm in control, and I need to be in control. I better be in control because it's fearful. And so if we flip that and realize there's a power and presence in the universe that can use me, and it's a power for good, and it's unconditional love. When we used to teach a class here called the 5 Gifts of an Abundant Life, GIFTS is an acronym, and the S in GIFTS stands for surrender. Now, surrender kind of gets a bad rap in our psyche, right? Surrender means giving up what I want. It means giving in to some power that's not healthy. But surrender from a spiritual perspective simply means allowing that beautiful, mysterious, awesome power, infinite love, creativity to move through me and surrender up my small ideas of what life should be like. So when we taught that class, we started the very first week. What the heck was that? Oh, okay. We started the very first class with an affirmation that we used throughout the 8 or 10 weeks of the class, and it was this. There's a power and presence, let's see, I surrender to the power and presence of God within me. So we're not surrendering to some power out there that wants to control us. We're surrendering to the power and presence that lives right here. So would you say that one after me? I surrender, to the power and presence of God within me. Now, I know some of us have hurts around the word God. If you do, you can, I surrender to the power and presence of love within me, of spirit within me. You can substitute. I personally like the word God. All right. I want to read a poem by Chalon Harkin, modern mystic poet, that speaks to this idea of surrender and what it is and what it isn't. It's called Wild Order. And first we should say something about grace. What is grace? A gift from God. And is it earned? No. Grace is a gift from God. All the gifts from God that come, we don't have to earn them. So she says, your controlling ways are actually quite crude compared to the way grace works. Look how the earth has let herself go, and somehow the flower is drawn. It turns out your willpower, all that efforting, is astoundingly weak compared to the easeful way beauty shares herself through the form of hummingbird. Your perfectionism is quite a rough attempt compared to the wild order of the leaf. None of the small tendencies within you can begin to compete with the mastery that comes through everything surrendered. There's a bigger you waiting in there. Now, slow down, pull your life over, and put all your intention on giving yourself over to that. How about that, Chalon Harkin? Yeah. The hummingbird, you know, it's interesting. I had, at the end of a meditation one morning, I was telling Vivian, I looked out the window and I saw a bird, pretty well-fed bird, it looked like, sitting in my lilac tree. Well, you know, the lilac bush is bare right now. And I was in that place of oneness and awe. And I just looked out and I was like, look at the bird. Look at the bird. It took us how many thousands of years to learn how to fly a machine, but God created these creatures, these little birds, that fly. I mean, how amazing is that, right? So stream of consciousness here, I remembered the scripture that says, consider the birds of the air, They don't toil, they don't spin, they don't harbor things. I'll read it so I won't paraphrase. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? Cubit was the ancient word. Those are Jesus' words. But we do worry, don't we? We have to kind of tame that ego and go again and again and again to that affirmation. I surrender to the power and presence within me. Yeah, seek ye first the kingdom, and all else will be added to you. So if we spend time meditating, praying, invoking the presence, it's always there, but when we take time to recognize it. And for me, one of the most amazing ways is to hike in nature. I mean, come on, right? The beauty, the awesomeness, the peace that exists there is quite something. So instead of this worrying and controlling and being attached to outcomes, like having my mic where it belongs, sorry about that. Letting go of control. That's a hard one for me. Understanding that our heart's desires are already ours. I believe our true heart's desires are placed there by the divine within. Now that may be, the ego sometimes wants different things. Maybe it wants, there was a beautiful letter that I read this week on Facebook that was written by the outgoing Surgeon General, and I don't remember exactly, but I'm gonna quote it for you as best I can. His dad grew up in India, poor. But when they got here, he said he was happier there because the Surgeon General said, unhealthily, we have focused on fame, power, and wealth. And that is not the right focus. The focus instead, well, he may remember the exact words, but it was something like connection, compassion, and service. Service. There's that vessel in sharing our light. I mean, this community, I'm so proud of this community in many ways. We are starting, thanks to Nancy Clay, our practitioner who isn't here today. She's kind of under the weather, but we're joining with other Christian churches in the neighborhood to make 100 sandwiches every week to help the Presbyterian Church feed hungry people 4 days a week, a bag lunch. Greg and Will told me that they were out on the Greenway recently distributing warm clothes to the homeless people and talked about the gratitude that came from many of them. When we serve, we do light up our hearts. I mean, that is the way to true peace and happiness, not accumulating false gods like fame. Nothing wrong with wealth. We can have what we want, but you get the difference, right? When it comes from the ego. I think the ego's needs are because it feels empty and more like we're not enough. When we're truly in connection with who we are, creation's perfect, whole, complete creations of God, we're not after any of that stuff. We already know we're where we need to be. So God knows the world presents us things to worry about and be concerned about. I know many of us are concerned right now about the fires raging in the LA area and the devastation they're creating. The changing of the guard on Inauguration Day could cause a little bit of concern. What's going to happen next? That's a cute little sneeze. But when we put our attention on faith, when we know that God is in charge, when we know that God is never absent, that all things work together for the good for those who recognize that power, we can switch. We can switch that worry to knowing. I don't know how. It's just like when we pray. I don't know how my prayers are going to be answered or when, and I don't need to. Because in my smaller mind, I can come up with an idea, but Spirit has a bigger idea. And we often do that, don't we? We pray for this or something better. It's a beautiful way. So here's another poem. This one is by Steve Taylor from the Calm Center. He calls it the project, and I'd like to know if anybody can relate to this. There's more to this than you realize. You're part of a project that's too vast for you to comprehend. The impulses that guide your life don't come from you, but through you. You're a channel, not the source. But the impulses aren't flowing through you clearly. You've let the channel become obstructed by your self-doubt and fear. So the force has been diluted, the message has been distorted, and the river that should be rushing through you is halting, a halting, stuttering stream. But this project is too important to interfere with. There's too much at stake to stand in its way, to be distracted by your own fears and desires, to be afraid of failure or wary of success, to worry about looking foolish or losing face, to wonder who's watching and what they might be thinking, and be discouraged if no one seems to be watching at all, or frustrated if they don't seem to understand. It's enough to do what you're meant to do, to express what you're meant to express, without evaluating your effect or considering results or reactions. There's too much at stake for you to become anything less than you were meant to be, to leave the smallest part of your potential unfulfilled or the smallest piece of your message unsaid. This is a time to be fearless so that the force can flow through you freely. This is the time to be empty so that the source can fill you completely. This is the time to step aside and let the project unfold through you. How many are going to sign up for that one? I am. You know, before I close, Treasure Wild, I want to acknowledge, she did a beautiful meditation this morning and created a short story that she said may have come from the ethers, but that's great, you know, that's where we get inspiration. And it reminded me of another little story, and I don't have it written out, so I'll tell you as best I can. Some of you may have heard it. It's about a cracked earthen jug, that was used by a family in the old days, way back when, to bring water from the stream near the palace up to the palace because there was no plumbing. And there was a crack in that earthen jar. And so every day one of the servants would go down with this heavy jar down to the stream and carry it on her head full of water back to the palace. But when she got there, part of the water had leaked out. And so the earthen jar felt very bad that all this effort was happening, and because of her imperfections, it didn't bring the results that it could have had she been intact. And years later, she had the chance to talk with someone in power in the palace, and they said to her, "Oh, my darling, don't you realize, because of the cracks on the path up to the palace every day, you watered the path, and all these wildflowers you see here are the result of the water that leaked from your imperfect crack." What a beautiful reminder. We don't have to be, in a human sense, perfect. Sometimes our very imperfections lead us to an understanding and a compassion of others going through the same thing. Anybody who's been in a 12-step program can tell you that. So let's remember that, let's not let that ego get on our case. Comparing, gosh, there was a great quote I forgot from Emerson. Comparing is like suicide, you know. We don't need to compare ourselves to anybody else because we are who we're meant to be, right? All right, let me see if I can stop rambling and wrap this up. So how do we do all this? How do we, before I talk about doing life through me, there is one more kingdom of consciousness that most of us only touch occasionally. So there's life happens to me, life happens by me, life happens through me, and then life happens as me, which is truly the oneness, the atonement that the Course in Miracles talks about. It's really, really no more. You give up separation completely. That's enlightenment. And you know, I think chances are most of us, when we reach that stage, we're ready to move on. Some of us stay behind. We're bodhisattvas here to teach others, but that's a tough one. So how do we do this? How do we let life live through us? Well, we listen. We listen. We have our daily practice and we listen. You know, when we want to achieve something, I think the best thing is to pray, knowing Spirit will bring us whatever it is. Remember the story I told a few weeks ago? If there was one bit of information I needed, and there was only one person in the deepest, remotest part of Africa that knew that information, Spirit would deliver it, right? Miracles can happen. So if I pray, the best thing I can do is allow. Remember, we release our prayer. We let God do it. We don't have to make it happen. But if we remain open and listening, we may be guided to take steps. So it's release, surrender, but then take guided action, and only guided action, because then we know we're on the right path. So let's give up this tiny mad idea that we can ever be separate from our Creator. I want to read one more poem because it's really happy, and then we'll wrap this up. Again, Shaylin Harkin from a different book. Yank that cord. I was a bottle of champagne waiting quietly in God's cellar. Effervescence held in, keeping it to myself. But today, God decided to choose me and yank that cork. Darling, your only prayer needs to be this: God, I'm ready for you to celebrate existence through me, and dear God, I'd like to get this party started now. Oh my. So non-doership, the path to peace. Let's remember there's a power in the universe and it can use us. Let's remember I can surrender, and I do surrender to the power and presence of God within me. Let's go into prayer. I'm sure the gods will forgive me for being a rogue here, because I think this is ancient wisdom. It's ancient, ancient wisdom. And we can truly remain open at the top. So there is this power, this essence, this energy that's creator. It's everywhere. The ancient Greeks said its center is everywhere. Its circumference is nowhere, because it is unlimited, infinite, the infinite invisible that created everything in the manifest universe, and probably universes we don't even know about. It is omnipresent. It is omniscient. It is omnipotent. And it is a power for absolute, unconditional love, perfect peace, that peace that passeth all understanding, abundance without any limit, beauty, order, peace. All of those words we associate with God. And the fact is, because we were made of God's stuff, breathed and supplied and guided by that infinite presence, we are that love, that clarity, that intelligence, that peace, all of it. And we are each meant to shine that light in a unique way that only we can do. So let us know this morning for the people affected by the fires. Let us know for anyone around the globe affected by hunger, by disease, by climate change, by war, that God is right there where they are. And through the imperfections, God manages to bring about newness, abundance, love, peace, connection, lessons perhaps we need to learn if we trust and listen, surrender, and know. Life can be absolutely one of peace, a path of peace, a path of service, a path of goodness, a path of fulfillment. I give great thanks for our teachings. I give great thanks for all those worshiping today, other places, other paths, mosque, temple, yoga mat, forest. There's only one God, many paths, and it's all good. So blessing each one here, blessing each one watching online, blessing all of humanity, which is what God does, and it does it through us. I release this word knowing it's heard. It is answered, and I invite us to say together. And so it is. Thank you all.
Every day I'm so grateful, thankful. Oh, it's a new day on my horizon. All that I am, all I can be, oh, is just a gratitude shining through me. Nature's gifts to me, perfect place to be. I keep loving myself so I can see there's only beauty in you, beauty in me. Oh, let's all stand up together and let the whole world see. So grateful, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. Yeah. See, with every breath I take, with every step I take, it takes me higher on my path of awakening. See through the eyes of love, there's only one of us. So let's be grateful for all that's been given us. No need to live in fear. All of life is just all. Come on, let's love and let the love come shining in. Smiling faces, warm embraces. Oh, let's all stand up and let the whole world know I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. Every day, so thankful. I'm so grateful. Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. My life is so good, precious and good. Oh. Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Oh, see, nothing is impossible. Oh, everything is possible. I know nothing is impossible. Oh, everything is possible. Oh, I'm so grateful. Oh, so grateful. So thankful. So grateful. Every day. Yes, I am.
Grateful. We are grateful for you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
You get going, man. Nothing stops you. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward. Thank you, Janice and Virginia. It's time now to give our tithes and offerings. As we know, this is a spiritual practice because it allows us to be grateful for all that comes in and be willing to share it to play in places where we're spiritually fed. Thank you all for your continued support. And let's say our giving affirmation together. You ready? I also said if you need them, there are envelopes for cash in the backs of the purple chairs. So let's say our affirmation. Graciously, I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. So it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Indeed we are. A few announcements before we break for fellowship in Bosworth Hall. Contribution statements for those of you who have been giving this year to Center for Spiritual Living Unity have been emailed. The contribution statements for your taxes have been emailed to you this past Wednesday, I believe. So check your email. You can print that out. Everything is in full gear again now that the new year is underway. Poetry is spiritual practice and Tai Chi both meeting Tuesday at 10 and 10:30 respectively. Wednesday, our first sandwich making team will be here. Nancy has invited the 5 who will be participating. We had 20 people sign up for sandwich making, so we're going to be really in good stead. Our annual meeting is coming up the last Sunday of the month, the 26th, after service. So everyone is invited. It'll be a look back at last year and a look ahead at what to expect. We'll have, as usual, a slideshow of fun memories, and I invite you all to stay for that. I usually keep that at an hour and a half. I don't go too long, but it's a great opportunity to come together once a year. We have been partnering with Northwest Seasonal Workers Association for many years now, and as you may remember, they do a Super Bowl tamale fundraiser. So there's going to be a sign-up sheet in Bosworth Hall. You can order your tamales. The suggested donation is $20 per dozen, $10 per half dozen. The pickup date is Saturday, February 8th. See Virginia Hodson if you have. Virginia, raise your hand. Where are you? She's in the back. See her if you have any questions. But this is one way we can support the great work that Northwest Seasonal Workers Association does in our community. For those who did not get our weekly e-newsletter, there's a sign-up sheet in Bosworth Hall. There's a sign-up sheet for name tags. By the way, please wear your name tags, even if you're a seasoned member. It's really a nice way for new people to get to know each other. And also a reminder, if somebody forgets, it's not so embarrassing because you have the name there. The prayer box is in the back here. We accept written prayer requests for you or someone else you want prayer for. And our whole ecclesiastical team, 12 of us, pray for that all week. And the prayers get sent at the end of the month to Silent Unity, and prayers continues. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to get help from above or below or within. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, I'm going to invite our practitioners and ministers to come on forward. They are here to do a 5-minute miracle for you. Don't leave here with a heavy heart. They'd be glad to hear what's going on, and they don't need a whole story. Jason's jewelry, I forgot, man. Yes, take a look in Bosworth Hall. Jason has new, incredibly beautifully crafted pieces, as well as gently used pieces, so please, that's a fundraiser for our center, and thank you, Jason. We love you. All right, let's say a Reformation again together. After me, if you would. I surrender.
I surrender
to the power and presence of God, right within me.
right within me.
So it is.
And so it is.
Take it away, Andy.
Here we go. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and hear all about as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God is the sun, but God is the sun, but God so much more than the earth or the stars, all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and hear all about as you show me all do. Show me all that I must do. Yeah. I think I did all your favorite songs today. Hallelujah.